Hey everybody, it's Eric from Sensory Dad. Man, I woke up feeling like shit this morning. Just stayed up late watching. I think it's the camp or the cabin or something like that with Bert Kreischer. And holy cow, is that funny! But I just needed a night off, kind of. Kids ended up watching a movie with the wife, and yesterday was a long day. It's got me lately. It's got me wanting to reevaluate exactly everything we're doing with the kids. It's like with Luke spiraling out of control. And yesterday I took the kids out, to play soccer, and it was just me and the boys. Callie went and had a girls' day kind of thing, and we were doing okay. Luke was having some meltdowns and not scoring goals and stuff like that. I put a little net for him, and we were all trying to have fun, and he finally started to get into it and have a good time. And Leo, just kind of went off on him, shoved him to the ground, punched him one time. I had to intervene, brought him in, kind of calmed him down after he apologized and everything, and we played Legos, excuse me, for a couple hours, just building all kind of stuff out of the big Duplos we have here in the living room until Jen got home from work. Ended up calming everybody down, and I'm like thinking to myself, what if I completely cut out electronic time? After the debacle yesterday, the kids, flipping out about the video games and everything like that, I just thought, it's cold, it's miserable. We had rain for about a week straight. The pandemic's just bad enough. We don't go as many places. What if we just unplug? Let's get all the toys back out. I think I've shown you guys the magnets and the travel, video that we did. What if I get all those sets out to the mechanized, ones that we have, and maybe get back to focusing on the building, the engineering, the STEM type of activities. If we're going to be cooped up in the house, I think that's the direction I need to go. Also, evaluating the way that they've been behaving in school lately. Leo's been doing a pretty damn good job. I mean, I'm really impressed with. We'd have never had the opportunity to get the highest ranking day you can have in school or close to it, um, especially not weeks at a time. And it's been, I think, 3 or 4 bad days. Call it five. Bad days in well over a month. I'll take that any day of the week. That's like free breakfast at Denny's. You know what I mean? That I'm on that. So I'm really pleased with the way he's going there. But my God, he's just there's a lot of regression with the sibling rivalry here, and I don't know what the heck it is. I can't pretend to be an expert on why it's just battles, other than the fact of being confined to the spaces. They're not on the trampoline as much. Once school started back, soccer started. We've got all these activities going on. I kind of pulled back from the daily regimen we had over the summertime, which was we'd spend at least an hour up at the field here, practicing sports, whether it was sprints, the fast twitch muscle fiber stuff, or the crossover moves, the center plane of the body focus, and the coordination type exercises. And I drew back because school, they're exhausted, they're starving the minute they come in the door. We're rushing them out the door at least 4 days a week to get to an extracurricular activity. Then we typically have something planned over the weekend where it's another activity to where it's physically challenging. But I almost feel like they're not getting enough physical, expression, physical aggression out, to where it's trickling back into the household. So my plan of action is going to go back to what I used to do in the wintertime last year, and in all the years that we've done it. We have the rock wall in the basement, and I've showed you guys that before. So typically they have to do 20 wall climbs. They have to do 50 vertical leaps, which is just jump as high as you can and slap the balcony like thing we have down there. And then you have to do 10 steps carrying dumbbells all the way up, all the way down, and that's virtually 20 flights of steps if you're carrying the 2 to 5 pound dumbbells. If you're not carrying the dumbbells, you got to do 20, which comes out to 40 flights of steps up and downs. So I'm going to institute that, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to break it up into possibly two different sessions. I'm going to start doing it in the morning, and maybe that alone, I'm going to, I don't know, somehow gear this toward being focused on Luke. I really, my mom brought up a good point to me that it's almost like Luke is emulating Leo in some cases. The one video we did, don't even ask. Luke was doing the whole, I'm sensory kid, I'm sensory kid. It's almost like maybe he feels left out. And I know we've talked about this before, but he had such horrific behavior at school to where he was tossing chairs, and this isn't even my sensory kid, tossing chairs, and throwing stuff and locking himself in a bathroom stall and refusing to listen and trying to run out of the room, throwing himself on the ground. It's really frustrating. So I think that if I shift focus to Luke for his own special thing, and maybe we gear him toward, he's got an upcoming belt test coming and everything like that. Maybe this is, I think the guise that I'm going to put this under is that we have to be ready for all the walking at Disney. So I'm going to institute that. We're probably going to start that tonight. They're at the park right now with their mom and really good friends of ours, having a good time. So I think they're going to get some decent energy out. So I'm going to do a half workout with them tonight. It's time to get hands on and reevaluate. And like I've told you guys before, this stuff is an ever changing, evolutionary, just pain in the ass to try to figure these kids out. And yesterday I was pretty much at the end of my rope, and maybe it was me starting to get sick. I mean, the sore throat was horrific. Didn't even want to swallow this morning. No fever or anything of that nature. No, no real coughing, but just felt like crap, lethargic. I've checked my temperature like 4 times today, and I'm good. So it's certainly nothing that's going to bother me. Hopefully, it's gone in a day or so. But that could have factored into my short temper yesterday. Just didn't want to deal with much. So how even parents have rough days. I know you guys can relate. But what I wanted to say is, yeah, we need to reevaluate and reassess. And take a look back at what the variables are that are changing so badly now. Yeah, they're in class and everything like that. Soccer did change. Luke having to deal with, the full days of class. And I know that he comes home and eats like a freaking monster. And then we have trouble with him for dinner. And no matter what you do, there's never a way to get that scale to balance. If you kind of understand where I'm going with that, it's just, I think we're going to try to adhere to, I think I mentioned before, the blood type diet, which is kind of a gluten-free thing, very, very restrictive on dairy too. And one of these days, I would like to go through that with you guys on what we're doing with Leo. I do think that it had a somewhat positive impact, but um, maybe the gluten is a thing. I know I'm a big believer in nutrition and physical exertion and exercise factoring into behavior. Sleep is a big thing too. So it's a culmination of everything coming together to really reach that sweet spot. And I thought that we'd reach that a couple weeks ago, and evidently it's not really working now. So back to square one, guys. We have a big evaluation coming up with Luke on, I think, right before we go on vacation. I'm anxious to see where that's going to go and what their assessment is there. There is the possibility we just hold him back a year in school because of his just, absurd behaviors. And I'm open to that. I kind of wish I would have got held back in school. Kudos out to my mom because I was a bastard as a kid. And she was a single mom, and it's hard to understand how single parents could even deal with a sensory kid, let alone multiple kids. And I know I didn't really, I was a seeker, and I was kind of a, very bad behavior, very hyper, you know, and my mom did try medication on me, and it kind of zonked me out to the point where she's like, I'd rather have them wired than zoned out. So, you know, maybe I just need to go with that philosophy for a while. So I'm going to try it. You know, it's trial and error, and I'm going to track it and see how we go with that. Maybe if they're exhausted, you know, they're going to fight more. I don't know. You know, let's see where it's at. They did really well with it over the summer, but that's summertime. And then when we were doing at home learning at the end of last year, you know, the physical activity was tied right in. So virtually they had at least an hour to an hour and a half of gym class every day. You know, I think that they need that, you know, and I was a part of all the activities, and they got a lot more of my time. And I think now they're competing for my time, you know, and so you understand, guys. It's pretty frustrating. I got, you know, a good night's sleep today, you know, and kind of chilled out, laid around, took a nap in the afternoon. My throat feels a lot better. But the whole time, you know, that I did get to myself, just made me really self reflection and thinking about this stuff, and you know, what am I doing different? What am I doing wrong? What's different for them? You know, like I said before, you know, you go to the scientific method and try to limit the variables that are into it, assess the situation, see what you can change that can positively affect, and you do a trial and error. You know, you just kind of, you know, approach it with a system, you know, and the systemic changes that you can make to your day might, you know, might help. So that's what we're gonna do. Back to a STEM focus and an exercise-based focus, guys. I'll keep you posted as always and let you know how it turns out. We're up in subscribers. We're up in hours. You know, you guys have really been great following and, you know, being supportive. I know I got a bunch of messages on Facebook that were really supportive after kind of flipping out the other day. So, as always, I really appreciate all the support, and I hope that it's cathartic for everybody going through this, not just me. Otherwise, you know, you're just watching kind of a commercial. But thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.